Okie dokie, friends, we are going to continue with our book, Hour of the Olympics. Who did we just start to meet at the end of our last chapter? Who were we just starting to meet? Alyssa?
The girl that the guy said to them to meet her.
Who is that guy? Who is that guy? Lorenzo? Plato, and he was introducing Jack and Annie to a girl. Does anybody know why she's important? Christian?
Since back in the day there were no girls allowed, not doing stuff.
But why is this girl important? Who's she in our story? Riley?
Girl.
She is a girl, but do we remember what girl she is? Why is she important? Why are they being introduced to her? Quinn?
Because the girls weren't allowed near the boys.
Well, they were allowed near them, but they weren't always allowed to do the same things, right? Yeah, but why is this girl important?
I know.
Hassan?
Because it's a secret. Because no one knows that girl's inside the city. Because no girls are allowed.
And what is this girl, what is she special for? What has she done? Camden?
She has wrote a book.
Yes.
Girls are not supposed to write.
Good. She's a secret poet of the book that they are looking for. So we get to meet her in this chapter and find out more about the secret poet. Very good. Way to work through that. Chapter 4, Not Fair. The young woman smiled at Jack and Annie. How did you learn to read and write? Annie asked. I taught myself, the woman answered. She wrote a poem and brought it to me, said Plato, because I have written and told people that I think Greek girls should go to school and learn things. Is that the poem? Said Jack. He pointed to the poet's scroll. Yes, said the young woman. It's a wonderful story, said Plato, but she will get in trouble if it's read in our land. You must take it back to your faraway home where it will be safe. The poet handed Jack her scroll. He put it into his bag. Tell us your name, said Annie, so we can tell people who wrote the story. The young woman shook her head. I cannot, she said. When she saw Annie's sad face, she added, You can tell people it's written by Anonymous. That's your name? Asked Annie. No, anonymous means that no one knows who wrote it, said Plato. But that's not true, said Annie. I'm afraid the risk is too great, said Plato. Annie looked back at the woman. I'm sorry, said Annie. That's not fair. Not at all. The poet smiled at her. I'm happy that you will take my story to your country, she said. Perhaps someday women everywhere will write books just like men. They will, said Jack. I promise. The young woman looked at him puzzled. It's true, said Annie. Thank you, Annie, the young woman said, and thank you, Jack. She bowed, then hurried out of the courtyard. Wait, said Annie. She started to go after the poet, but Plato stopped her. Come along, he said. The games will be starting soon. Plato then led Jack and Annie out of the Greek house back onto the dirt road. Girls can't write stories, Annie grumbled. They can't go to school, can't be in plays. I've had enough of ancient Greece. Let's get out of here. Wait, said Jack. What about the Olympics? Oh yeah, said Annie. Her eyes got brighter. I almost forgot. Well, said Plato slowly, I would like to take you both to the games. I have special seats in the viewing box. However, he looked at Annie. Don't tell me, she said. Girls can't go to the Olympics either.
Oh, that's why they didn't see any going down.
That's why he said not fair.
Plato shook his head. A girl will get in trouble, terrible trouble, if she goes to the games, he said. Annie sighed. It's really, really not fair, she said. I'm sorry, said Plato. My country is a democracy. We believe in freedom for our citizens. But I'm afraid right now that only means men. Annie's right. It's not fair, said Jack. I think we should go home now. No, Jack, you go to the Olympics, said Annie. At least you can tell me about it. Take notes. Well, what about you, Jack said. I'll go back to that play at the outdoor theater, Annie said. Meet me there when you are done. Jack didn't want to leave Annie alone, but he also didn't want to miss the Olympics. Go, have fun, Annie said. She began walking by. I'll see you later. Bye, Play-Doh. Bye, Annie, said Play-Doh. Annie turned back again and waved. I want to pause here, and I want us to do some thinking for a second about our characters. I want you to think about what we just read happened to Jack and Annie. And I want us to talk a little bit more about Annie. What does this interaction between her and Jack and Play-Doh, what does this teach us about Annie? What does this teach us about Annie? Camden?
That she doesn't like how they're treating girls.
Yeah, she obviously thinks it's not fair, so she definitely thinks that they should be treated equally, right? What does this teach us about the kind of sister that Annie is? What does this teach us about the kind of sister she is? Alyssa?
To go with Jack everywhere he goes.
Yeah, but what does that mean? What kind of sister is she, do you think?
That sister that always stays with her. Makes her safe.
To make what?
Makes her safe.
Yeah, so maybe she's like protective. Yeah. Lorenzo?
Maybe she's kind of brave.
I think so. Do you think that Annie could have just thrown a fit here and said, come on, Jack, we're leaving. You don't get to see the Olympics if I don't get to see the Olympics. And let's go back to the treehouse. Do you think she could have said that?
Yeah.
She could have, but do we know do we know,
Not very nice.
yeah, that's not very nice. And that's not really the kind of person that Annie is, right? Right. Annie instead is like, no, Jack, like, you go, right? I'll stay and I'll go do something else. That tells me she's a good sport. She cares about others' feelings above her own. She wants her brother to have good things and to have fun experiences even if she can't. That's really selfless. Really selfless. It means that she cares more about others than she cares about herself sometimes, right?
But she also thinks that.
She persevered.
And she also thinks that it's not fair.
Yeah, she definitely thinks it's not fair, but she's still taking Jack's feelings into account too, right? Yeah. I'll tell you about it, Jack called. This way, said Play-Doh. He and Jack turned and joined the crowd heading toward the Olympic grounds. Okie dokie, friends. We're going to go ahead and pause here so we can jump in to our next thing. Virtual friends, thank you guys for joining us. We will see ya tomorrow. Bye, friends. Go ahead, Alyssa.